Oh, I can't stop myself. I gotta go see a psychologist. I have no choice. But it's right in your face. What can you do? Again, choose to be homeless. CTV News in Halifax. Oh my God, what a racket. And again, they did a story last night. And right now it's the Moncton, what you'll see behind. It's funny. They're always worrying about the citizens are complaining. You never see the police walking the street. St. George Street. There's only one street that the Met heads are hanging around. I mean, I know there's more, but the St. George Street is the main thing, but you don't see no cops there. And I don't know why the citizens in that area are paying tax. They should refuse to pay the property tax because they're not receiving the service. Focus, Charles. Halifax. They have this area, the Grand Pride Parade, the Grand Parade, where all the cenotaph, where all the veterans gathered every November 11th, so Remembrance Day. And this year, they told the people, the veterans, go F yourself. We're not moving nowhere. And they even said before that, we're not going nowhere. In other words, you could give us housing, you could do whatever you want. We are not going nowhere. RVs started to arrive there. They got trailers. And that is the beginning of the end of downtown Halifax. As long as they could survive for another 3 to 4 months, they got it made. It'll be there for the summer. And you talk about drugs. Ha! They're all going to come, and then we have rights. And like I hear somebody said that a verdict came out. They can't touch them. A judge said they can't be touched until they receive suitable housing. Suitable housing for a menhead. Then I seen another issue. A youth showed up there in December. Oh, I just thought, this is cool. I'm going to stay here. And that's what they're doing. Now, listen to this. See, listen to this.
Support agencies that help the homeless are facing many challenges, but are making inroads in trying to make the downtown core a better place for everyone. And it turns out it's not just the homeless who are under pressure as the crisis and the winter drags on. Many of the people who vowed to help them are starting to feel it too. Volunteers at encampments in Halifax admit they're starting to feel worn out. Their dedication to the cause is admirable, but as CTV's Hafsa Arif tells us, it's coming at a significant cost.
We do get tired. It's a lot of stress.
The pressure is mounting. It's been over 8 weeks since Lee McDonald took on the task of aiding people living at encampments in Dartmouth. He works his regular job, and in his downtime, he stays there to help.
There's times I gotta work 7 days a week just to put food on the table and keep the bills paid. And when we're up here as well, we spend, it could be 4 hours, it could be 6 or 8 hours a day here.
He personally lives paycheck to paycheck, but despite that, McDonald has extended his hours helping. His commitment to help is unyielding, but the toll on his well-being is starting to show.
When you put your own life on the back burner, that's just to help out, then it's the stress of trying to keep both things balanced, because we don't want to end up into the predicament where we're going to be out here.
He's not alone. Volunteers at other encampments are beginning to experience burnout as well, some even taking time off to recharge.
It's been a long journey. We definitely need some time off. Matthew's taken a mental health day today, and the last couple of days I've had to go recharge. You're on the back.
Of course you got to recharge. Because you're not dealing with poverty. This thing here is a pile of crap. It's just like 3 or 4 years ago. They had Choose to be Homeless at St. Paul Church. You have good volunteers, young volunteers to show up. And next thing you know, it's not the same poverty that we knew. It's a different kind of human. They're not humans. I'm sorry. You just have to go downtown Fredericton. You will see them. They cause destruction. They don't go by rules. They scream. They even go after DOG. Shut that fucking dog up. Train that dog to behave. Hey, if the Met heads behave, no problem. Or if they weren't on Met, the dog wouldn't bark. But what I'm trying to say is, they're saying that they want more volunteers. But I'm sorry. To volunteer for something like this, you have to be trained. You just can't go off the street and go on the street and say, oh, you poor soul, I want to help you. Like that table, they had dishes to be put. And they never, that story, they never mentioned the word drugs. They never mentioned the word meth. That's what this is. Crystal meth in action. Last night, St. John, big front, the CBC is beginning there. They're starting to play the violin. There was a fire, and they say somebody was hurt. There was a fire in a tent, and early in the morning. Of course there's going to be fires. I mean, you don't want to go by rules. There's a place you can go, but you got to go by rules. One rule is you can't do drugs. So they're not going to accept that. So the bottom line is they shouldn't ask for volunteer, because this is a very, very, very dangerous place to volunteer. You could even get hurt. So I would, CTV News and CBC, I know you don't want to talk about drugs. You just want to, it's such a sad story. And I haven't heard from so-called Dr. Sarah Davidson. That's a good thing. Maybe their coverage ain't all that bad after all.